Let me tell you a story about a girl named Maya. Maybe you'll see a bit of yourself in her. She didn't believe a month could change anything, until it changed everything. Maya was stuck. It wasn't some big, dramatic crisis. It was quieter than that, almost invisible. Life had settled into a monotonous rhythm. Wake up tired, go to work feeling numb, come home feeling empty. On the surface, nothing was terribly wrong, but deep down, nothing felt right either. She was just ... existing. One night, like many of us do, she was endlessly scrolling through social media. A highlight reel of everyone else's seemingly perfect lives. The beautiful vacations, the happy relationships, the career successes. It was a digital parade of joy she felt completely disconnected from. In the quiet of her room, she whispered to herself, "I'm not living. I'm just drifting." It was a moment of painful, quiet honesty. That feeling, that quiet desperation, was the tiny spark that would ignite a fire. The next morning, something shifted. She didn't wake up with a grand plan to overhaul her entire existence. The thought was too overwhelming. Instead, she decided to do something much smaller, almost laughably simple. She wasn't going to try to change her life. She was just going to try to change her day. Her rule was simple: one tiny, almost insignificant improvement, every single day, for just 30 days. No pressure, no grand declarations, just one small thing. It looked a little nicer. That was it. Day 2, she left a glass of water by her bed and drank it before she even thought about touching her phone. A small act of putting her own needs first, before the world's demands rushed in. Day 3, she put on her sneakers and walked for just 10 minutes during her lunch break. She didn't go to a gym, she just walked around the block, feeling the sun on her face. By day 7, the habit was sticking. The daily action was becoming a non-negotiable part of her routine. She decided to tackle a bit of physical clutter. On day 10, she opened that one drawer in her kitchen. You know the one, the junk drawer, and she cleaned it out. It was a small pocket of chaos that she finally brought order to. Some days were harder than others. Some days she failed. There were mornings she forgot to make the bed, or afternoons where she scrolled on her phone instead of taking a walk. And sometimes she felt ridiculous. Seriously, making my bed is going to change my life, she'd think, cleaning one drawer. It felt so small, so pointless in the face of the massive, formless unhappiness she felt. But something was happening, quietly, under the surface. A subtle shift she couldn't quite name yet. The small actions started to build on each other. On day 14, her tiny improvement was to open a notebook and write one completely honest sentence about how she was feeling. "I feel lonely today." No judgment, no need to fix it, just acknowledging the truth. It was surprisingly freeing. On day 21, she did something that felt huge. She said no. A coworker asked her to take on an extra task that would mean staying late. A task she usually would have said yes to out of guilt. This time, she politely declined. It was uncomfortable for a moment, but then a wave of relief washed over her. She had protected her time, her energy. The momentum was building. Each small act was like a vote she was casting for herself, for the person she wanted to be. These tiny wins started to change how she saw herself. She wasn't just the girl who was drifting anymore. She was the girl who made her bed, who hydrated, who took walks, who organized her space, who was honest with herself, who protected her peace. On day 25, fueled by this quiet, growing confidence, she did something she hadn't had the energy to do in years. She updated her resume and applied for a new job. Not because she was sure she'd get it, but because, for the first time, she felt like she deserved to try for something better. The turning point came on day 27. She was looking back at her list of tiny improvements, this little log of small efforts, and it hit her. A powerful realization. She thought she was just improving her habits, but it was so much more than that. She had spent years waiting for motivation to strike, like a lightning bolt from the sky. But that's not how it works. She wasn't chasing motivation. She was building momentum. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes. But momentum ... She wasn't suddenly in a new city with a new life. This story isn't just about Maya. It's a reminder for all of us. You don't need to change everything overnight. What is one tiny thing you can do? Can you make your bed? Can you drink a glass of water? Can you stretch for 5 minutes? Can you write down one thing you're grateful for? Your life doesn't change when you make one huge, heroic leap. It changes when you take that first small step, and then another, and another. It changes in the daily, consistent, often unglamorous acts of showing up for yourself. These are the small steps that lead to the big wins. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments what one small step you're going to take today. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that help us live better, one day at a time. See you in the next one.